Where's the key?
In my pocket.
Not that key, the key to the cupboard with the weapons.
Do you still wish me to throw it away?
Yes!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Whodunit movies.
Note he left. His first words to us. Long is the way and hard that out of hell leads up to light.
For this list, we're looking at the best movies revolving around the mystery of who committed a nefarious crime. What makes a great whodunit movie for you? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Memento.
I have to believe in a world outside my own mind. I have to believe that my actions still have meaning, even if I can't remember them. I have to believe that when my eyes are closed, the world's still there.
Christopher Nolan's breakout film is anything but straightforward. And we mean that part of it is literally structured backwards. In this thriller, Guy Pearce plays Leonard, a man with memory issues trying to solve the death of his wife.
What's the last thing that you do remember?
My wife,
That's sweet.
dying.
With little more than Polaroid photos and tattoos to guide him, Leonard is both haunted and perplexed. You'll need to pay close attention to follow all the twists and turns of this mystery.
Lenny, you can't trust a man's life to your little notes and pictures.
Why not?
Because your notes could be unreliable.
Memory's unreliable.
Ah, please.
No, really. Memory's not perfect. It's not even that good. Ask the police. Eyewitness testimony is unreliable.
Based on a short story by his brother Jonathan, Nolan's script and direction make you feel like you're right there in Leonard's shoes, as does Pierce's intense performance. You might not understand everything the first time you see Memento, but you will never forget it. Number 9, The Long Goodbye.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, open this thing up right away. Don't want you not to have your favorite kind of cat food.
Raymond Chandler is one of the most renowned authors in detective fiction, and Philip Marlowe is his most well-known creation. The observant and witty Marlowe is the perfect man to crack seemingly unsolvable mysteries. And The Long Goodbye is a fascinating look at this iconic character. Directed by Robert Altman, the film takes the character, associated with the 30s and 40s, and drops him into the then modern era of the 1970s.
Don't say nothing about his body. What happened to his body?
Well, his wife's family didn't want any part of it. For obvious reasons.
Obviously.
Though some took issue with the film's revisionist take on Marlowe and Elliot Gould's slovenly portrayal, appreciation for the film and how it examines detective movies from a complex angle has grown. While it might not be the Philip Marlowe you remember from The Big Sleep, The Long Goodbye is still a fantastic neo-noir.
Yeah, well, I guess I could work it in. When do you want to meet? Yeah, it's okay with me. You better give me your address.
Number 8, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Remember, you never saw me.
Get out of there!
Don't let him find me! Come on, Eddie. You're my only hope.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is fondly remembered for its memorable characters and seamless blending of animation and live action. But we should remember that it's also just a great detective story.
Nice monkey suit.
Like this.
After excitable tune, Roger Rabbit is implicated in a grisly crime, he teams up with hard-boiled detective Eddie Valiant, who learns that Toontown isn't all fun and gags. A great homage to both classic cartoons and detective stories, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one that viewers of all ages can love. Even after countless viewings, we're still amazed and delighted by it.
Come on, Roger, let's go home. I'll bake you a carrot cake.
Number 7. 7.
Oh, wait. Gould's wife. She was out of town at the time, so this means she saw something.
What if it's a threat?
Well, I put her in a safe house. She wasn't too happy about it.
In some whodunits, finding the culprit ensures a tidy, satisfying conclusion. That is not the case in 7. David Fincher's haunting thriller about two detectives trying to track down a serial killer with a twisted sense of morality. Using the 7 deadly sins for reference, the deranged John Doe tests the resolve of both the energetic detective David Mills and the weary detective Lieutenant William Somerset.
If we catch John Doe and he turns out to be the devil, if he's Satan himself, that might live up to our expectations, but he's not the devil. He's just a man.
This leads to a climax that redefines the meaning of the word shocking. With great performances from Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman and uncompromising direction from Fincher, Seven is a grim, upsetting, and highly thoughtful examination of what it means to live in an unpredictable world.
Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part.
Number 6. Gosford Park.
Do you think he's a murderer?
It's worse than that. He's an actor.
Director Robert Altman worked in a variety of genres, but he had a real knack for mysteries, as shown by The Long Goodbye and Gosford Park. A mystery in the style of Agatha Christie, Gosford Park brings together a massive ensemble without ever feeling overloaded.
How do you manage to put up with these people? You forget I earn my living by impersonating them.
In the film, a group of British elites in the 1930s find their weekend getaway spoiled by a gruesome death. All at once, a compelling mystery, a beautifully shot period piece, and a sharp satire of the upper class. Gosford Park might seem old-fashioned in some regards, but its message and overall quality are timeless.
You're providing a lot of entertainment for nothing. Morris, I'm used to it. Excuse me.
Number 5. Scream.
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
The first Scream is both a great satire of slasher film tropes and an excellent murder mystery overall. When a masked killer who's seen one too many horror movies is on the loose, high schooler Sidney Prescott needs to use all of her determination and intelligence to survive. By thoughtfully critiquing the slasher genre, Scream managed to revive it.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex.
But without horror legend Wes Craven's sharp direction, Kevin Williamson's witty script, and Neve Campbell's sympathetic starring performance, they can't compare. Scream is likely to have you both screaming and laughing without ever feeling tonally off.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. Cut, Casper. That's a wrap.
Number 4. Murder on the Orient Express.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are all aware that the repulsive murderer has himself been repulsively and perhaps deservedly murdered. How and why? Here is the simple answer.
We couldn't possibly make a list of the best whodunits without mentioning at least one Agatha Christie adaptation. And this is arguably the best of the bunch. Directed by Sidney Lumet and featuring a stacked cast, including Albert Finney as mustachioed detective Hercule Poirot, Murder on the Orient Express is everything you would want from a Christie adaptation.
I've had my share of good fortune, monsieur.
And of bad. I note the cancellation of your wife's photograph nearly 5 years ago.
And Christie herself agreed, calling it one of the few adaptations of her work she actually liked. If you loved the 2017 adaptation, we highly recommend checking out the 70s version to see another great take on this author's work.
Only by interrogating the other passengers could I hope to see the light, but when I began to question them, the light, as Macbeth would have said, thickened.
Number 3. Knives Out.
Strange case from the start. A case with a hole in the middle. A donut.
I'm just talking through my process here. Let me know if this is boring.
Another whodunit indebted to Agatha Christie, Knives Out is as sharp as its titular weaponry. When a famous mystery author is found dead, renowned sleuth Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, believes that it's not as straightforward as it seems. Meanwhile, the author's spoiled family is less in mourning and more eyeing their inheritance.
Funny, Ransom, you skipped the funeral, but you're early for the will reading.
It's hard to discuss Knives Out without potentially giving away key plot elements, but its clever and unpredictable narrative, social commentary, and great ensemble, with a standout performance by Ana de Armas, make the film a must-see for mystery fans.
A donut hole in a donut's hole. But we must look a little closer. And when we do, we see the donut hole has a hole in its center.
Number 2. L.A. Confidential.
I wondered when you might knock on my door again, Officer White.
It's Bud.
It's one thing to be able to recreate a time and place as well as this film does with 1950s Los Angeles. It's another to go further than just great cinematography and production design. In this modern take on classic noir, based on James Ellroy's novel, law enforcement and Hollywood collide for one complicated but engrossing story.
Nah, I got a hot date.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Who is she and what did you arrest her for?
It's confidential. It's like that magazine that Vincennes scams for. Hush, hush.
There are many characters and plot elements to keep track of, but it's a pleasure to follow both aspects. With an incredible cast including pre-stardom Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce, as well as an Oscar-winning Kim Basinger, it's no secret that LA Confidential is amazing.
You're different, Officer White. You're the first man in 5 years who didn't tell me I look like Veronica Lake inside of a minute.
You look better than Veronica Lake.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Witness for the Prosecution, an excellent Agatha Christie adaptation from Billy Wilder.
My dear Mrs. Vole, I'm afraid we have rather bad news for you.
Don't be afraid, Sir Wilfrid. I'm quite disciplined.
Zodiac, another great mystery from David Fincher.
You can't think of this case in normal police terms.
Why not?
You got 4 crime scenes: Solano, Vallejo, Berryessa, and here. Not a single usable print of the first 3.
Charade. This caper is considered by many to be the best Hitchcock movie Alfred Hitchcock never made.
You won't be able to lie on your back for a few days. Then you can lie from any position, can't you?
Brick. Knives Out director Rian Johnson brought noir to high school in his excellent debut.
Hey! What are you doing here? Just listening.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Maltese Falcon.
I inquired at the hotel for the name of a reliable private detective. They mentioned yours.
Suppose you tell me about it from the very beginning.
The Maltese Falcon isn't just the best whodunit movie. It's also arguably the most important one. The third and by far best adaptation of Dashiell Hammett's novel, the film launched the careers of director John Huston and star Humphrey Bogart, and to some, the genre of noir as a whole.
You know that's true, though.
You don't have to trust me so long as you can persuade me to trust you.
Bogart plays Sam Spade, a now archetypal film detective who finds himself wrapped up in a case of murder and a bird statuette. With its ingenious plotting, great cast, and brilliant cinematography, The Maltese Falcon became a surprise hit upon release and still endures as a classic. To quote this film, "It's the stuff that dreams are made of."
What is it?
The stuff that dreams are made of.
Huh?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.